Listen, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Sadiq. Welcome to the Netwrk podcast. And
Girl, Angela.
hey, what's good? What's going on, Angela? How you doing this week?
Good. Good.
Yeah?
I'm tired today, but I'm good.
Listen, I'm tired too, man. This week's been a little hectic this week, but for the most part, we get through it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
can't even complain much about it. How was your week? You do anything this week?
No, I was busy. Home inspections, appraisals.
Nice.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Working.
How was the inspection?
Don't stop. It was good. Actually, I'm surprised. The inspector, so I had the seller, but and the house wasn't perfect, but the inspector was really, really good. He was thorough. He told them something was wrong, and then he's like, and this is what we could do to fix it, blah blah blah. I like inspectors like that because they're not there to scare people away.
That's a lie. There's some inspectors.
No, some of them.
There's some inspectors that be scaring the shit out of people. You be like, dude, you really gotta go in depth like that. Like, now my clients all scared. They don't want to buy the house. Like, I don't know how to navigate this. I'm like, nah, there's some inspectors that actually scare.
There are people
clients.
in general in our industry that I swear they get off on scaring people. Like realtors, appraisers, they just get off on scaring people.
Now, I wonder why. I was talking to one of my friends this week, and we're talking about the sales aspect of things, right?
Yeah.
How the whole point of sales is to close a transaction.
Right.
Let's get the client from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like our job is to represent clients to the best of our ability, right? But sometimes I feel like there are some realtors or certain individuals in the industry that lack the ability to want to move forward on a transaction.
Yeah, they're not problem
and get
solvers.
Close. They are
They're
not problem solvers.
And they're not savvy.
They're not savvy. They scare their clients away versus, all right, what can we do to navigate this and make sure that both parties on both ends, whether it's buyer or sellers, are happy?
Just some people create problems and some people solve them.
No, that's true.
And so if you're not a problem solver, it's not easy to get through a transaction because there's so much from beginning to end.
No, facts.
And then there's some people that just don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've been just in houses with buyers, and I'm nosy, so I listen to everyone's conversations. I'd be listening because I want to see what they're talking about, especially when you're in the basement and you're around the heating system and stuff. I'd be listening. So you'll have someone be oh, there's not a pressure relief valve, and they act like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's a pressure relief valve.
And it's
not that deep.
Yeah, there's things that can be mitigated either through the buyer taking care of on their own when they close and buy the house, or if you negotiate it within the contract, you negotiate. Yeah.
I don't understand. There's times I've literally gotten people full oil tanks.
Yeah.
Just because during just the walkthrough, not even the walkthrough, we're just seeing the house. I'll see if there's a little oil at the bottom of the tank.
Yeah.
And then ahead of time, I just kind of negotiate that. Hey, we're gonna have to take care of that regardless.
Yeah. And a lot of times the sellers will take care of some or most or maybe all of the things that you request for.
If you're reasonable.
And if they don't, then as a buyer, you have the option to decide if you want to walk away from the transaction and so forth, But I think for the most part when I used to be in the auto industry, there was two ways we defined salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
You were either an order taker or you were a salesman or woman, right? A salesman or woman focused on the sale. Their job is to get the transaction closed.
Right.
An order taker is somebody who's just letting the client order them around and not taking control of the situation, helping the client navigate the process, and just becomes a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? And that's just real being real, I can't. It is what it is. There's nothing to it. During the week, I spend a lot of time, because I told myself this year I wanted to focus on going back to being able to target leads, right?
So you've been calling? You've been making calls?
I was making calls before,
Yep.
but now I'm back to focusing on reestablishing my email campaigns, restructuring the ways that I go about capturing leads, finding business. So I've been focused on that because initially those were the stuff that got got me to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to go back to the basics.
That's what
You
that's
know,
what we've been talking about. You got to do it.
Yeah, you have to go in this industry right now
Yeah.
for realtors. It's like, because the way the market is, it's almost as if you have to go back to the basics.
Yep.
2-3 years ago, I felt like so many people had it so easy because houses were flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
So like, if you didn't come into the industry before COVID, before pandemic, you know, and you came in during the pandemic and you were having it easy, how do you go about trying to figure out how to capture leads? Now. Before, we had to figure that shit out. It was putting boots on the ground, sending out mailers, calling clients. We had to really work for our business.
Yeah, but you gotta be smart about where you put your money too, where you put your dollars.
That's true.
The economy, we've been talking about that for like pretty much every episode. It comes up because things just cost more.
Yeah.
Printing things, having mailers done costs more, and you want to make sure you have that return on that investment.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. Was your son home all week?
Yup, he sure was. But he had practice.
All right.
So he was busy.
All right, good.
And then on the days where he didn't, let me tell you, that boy could sleep. They be sleeping, but I give him his space because why not? I used to do it. Vacation week was everything.
I wish my son slept. My son doesn't. He's just like me. He's an early bird. He's up early, and sometimes he wakes up earlier than I do.
Yeah, but does he want to chill with you? Or talk to you?
Nah, the first thing that little man wants is his iPad. I'm like, and sometimes the iPad sits right there. I toss it to him. Take it, you know, because I don't want to be bothered, you know. But he's been out of school this whole week, so it's just been him and I. We've been just kicking it. It was my niece's birthday as well too, so you know, she had a little birthday party.
She's so
like,
cute.
Yeah,
how old is she?
7 years old.
Oh my!
So her and my son.
She's tall.
Yeah, she is. We consider her and my son like the Irish twins because they were both born 2 weeks apart.
Oh yeah,
you know, so they really close. But them two, they argue like there's no tomorrow.
Oh
they
man.
argue. It's like, dude, can you both like just shut up and just chill out? Like time out. Like there's no need for this. You know. But
I had a girls' day with my nieces for one of my niece's birthday. I got a gang of nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
I'm one of 6.
Are you the big auntie? The favorite auntie?
I mean, you said it. You said it, not me. My nieces and nephews range from 27 to, I don't know, how old's the youngest? Like 8, 9 right now? I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
I got a lot of them.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm the cool aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think us millennials, I think there's a cool swag, a cool bravado about us that the younger generation, they envy. The ones after
You think they envy it?
I think they envy us.
I think you're full of yourself.
I think they envy us. Listen,
envy us.
Listen, they envy me. Shit, I try.
Oh, no.
I'll keep it like that. Stay envious, people.
Stop.
I don't care.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But wait, you know what we got to talk about?
What's up, girl?
We got to talk. Well, first, I do want to talk about we had good engagement.
Yeah.
We had really good engagement the last time. We had people asking questions, chiming in, responding to some of our stuff.
Well, that was the what you call when we're talking about rents, wages, and all that. Yeah, we really did have good content.
I mean, it's a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, I keep seeing them too. I'm seeing like other versions of that conversation, probably because my FBI agent on my phone, right? We already talked about it, so now like it's just coming up. I keep getting memes. I keep seeing links.
You know what? I also was been seeing a lot of people do too is when what you call single woman. Single women own more homes than single men.
Yeah.
And I just like you've been seeing. I've been ever since we threw hours out there. I've been seeing other contents similar to that. And I get everybody shares not share, but everybody talks about the same content on social media platform, you know, especially when it's a hot topic.
Yeah, that is
and
a
I think
hot
that topic that we had too last week was like a great topic, and people really tuned into that and they really engaged.
Well, because it's important, and you're touching on so many different topics just within that one thing. Just talking about rents. I mean, it is what it is. It's hot.
Nah, facts.
People can't afford it.
Yeah.
And then I think people are challenged with what's the solution, because that's pretty much where it was going. Like I did see some of the comments that they were like, you know, it's a simple fix. I think it was, he's a realtor. He's cool. He said like we're overpopulated. That was his take on it.
You know what's correct? I want to talk about that because first of all, I selected 4 of the comments that I
Hmm.
made that I thought that made sense,
Yep.
that I think we should talk about, right? Because I think one of the things that we want to try to do is try to get, obviously we want to get the engagements up, but we also want to engage the conversation
Yeah, yeah.
or the comments that these people are leaving. We want to engage that, right? So we want to be able to share their response and answer it,
Yep.
to the best of our ability and the knowledge and the experiences that we have in the industry, right? But I do want to talk about that one
Because it was a
particular.
different one. That one kind of stood out. That was an
It stood
anomaly.
out. It stood out to me. It stood out in a way where, like, I almost didn't. It almost didn't make sense to me to
Hmm.
a degree, but I'll explain why I think it didn't make sense to me,
Yep.
right? But I think I want to ask you this, right? One of the individuals by the name of her, I guess her, I think she's a female. If it's he, female, I apologize. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the actual profile pic to see what
Hmm.
their gender is, so I apologize about that. But the Instagram handle goes by at Bloom Events by Wendy. So I can only imagine it's probably a lady because the name last Wendy. Her
No, I know her. Yeah, yeah.
so it's a
Wendy.
lady. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So the
She
comment that
identifies as she and her. Those are
all
her
right,
pronouns.
cool.
Yeah, she is
Listen,
a
I
woman.
don't understand this
Yeah, she's a
identification,
good
but
friend.
we'll leave it like that.
Yep.
But the comment that she left behind states combination is. She responded back and she said it's a combination of both because these comments that was left were based on the vote question that we had up.
Yeah.
Her response back was it was a combination of both. Income growth is getting erased by continued increase in inflation.
Yeah.
Higher inflation cause higher rates. An example, high rent. It's a vicious cycle. Government needs to stop spending money we don't have. What's your take on that?
I think she hit a lot of valid points.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't disagree with that stance.
Mm.
It's true. Like she identified the problems.
Yep.
And then she identified kind of like subsets of problems from that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there's a lot of overspending.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just live in a very capitalistic environment. Like
Yeah.
the United States is very capitalistic. So, and unfortunately, the lower you are on the totem pole,
Mm-hmm.
the faster you get swallowed up.
Mm. Mm.
And so that's why people that are in rental situations are the ones that are they're kind of like, they can't even keep their head above water.
Yeah.
They're getting paid less.
Yes.
Their rents are going up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at graphs of like where wages are
Yeah.
versus what it costs to live,
Yeah.
rents and mortgages,
Yeah.
the disparity is just crazy. It
There's a
used to,
difference.
when you look at it from like the 70s through the 90s, you kind of see they're never like equal,
Yeah.
but they're closer together.
Yeah.
That gap isn't so widespread, and this is what it's been doing
Yeah.
as we go along.
No, you're definitely right. Inflation definitely has been outpacing income, and unfortunately, like we said before here in Rhode Island, specifically in Rhode Island, the income threshold for most individuals out here is 41,000 annually.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
So how can it's practically impossible for people to keep up with inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of these people out here in the state of Rhode Island, especially more so in the community,
Mm-hmm.
that are having a difficult time to be able to manage what's going on in the economy. Food's extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Gas is fluctuating. People are maxing out their credit cards just to be able to survive and pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
Rents, as we all know, that rents is astronomically high right now. So like people are really trying to do what they can to try to live off the income that they're earning.
Yeah.
It literally takes 2 incomes or maybe 3 incomes to be able to live today.
Yeah. Yeah. People have multiple jobs. If if there's 2 people in the household, between the 2, they could easily have 4 jobs and still be struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I guess it could be a financial literacy thing too. But it's just that things are just too expensive.
Nah, definitely
Way too
agree.
expensive.
Definitely agree with you. Another person within the comment, at mortgage_mamba states income is being outpaced.
Why do you have to say it like that? Ray, I'm sorry. Read the comment.
At mortgage_mamba states, income is being outpaced daily expenses, and people also don't make the best financial decisions.
That's true too, because you walk
Woo!
outside, $100
Yeah.
just to breathe.
Yeah.
Just to breathe. I've
Yeah.
been there. Like, I'll go if I have to make a supermarket run.
Yeah.
And then I want to just, treat yourself, have a coffee or something. And I don't know. I happen to be like in my mom's neighborhood. I might be like, let me stop by there. Then the next thing you know, like,
You're
I don't know,
buying
maybe I bought her something too. Like I brought her a coffee, and I don't know. It's true.
Nah,
It's true.
it's true. I think the line that hit me, based off his comment was that people are not making the best financial decisions.
Mhm.
It goes back to like where people are maybe living beyond their means,
Mhm.
right? Or maybe people are spending in areas they shouldn't be spending, while they can utilize those funds for a rainy day, save it, put it away, or maybe save it, continue saving, and look at the future of what investment opportunities are there, right? Rather than just randomly spending your funds.
But that's not for everyone.
It's not
It's
for
not for
everyone,
everyone.
but in today's day and age, I agree with you, but the way things are is difficult as it is already. So yes, it's not for everyone, but the struggle is real.
Yeah. I mean, should people be saving? Yes, but not everyone wants to like fully invest. Some people are. Let's just talk about the people that they just want to go to work. They want to be able to put food on the table. They might want to have a little bit extra, and they want to be able to pay their rent. Like, not everyone wants to be this like savvy like person and listen to financial gurus and stuff
But
that.
you don't have to invest in that sense, right? My thing is that you don't have to invest in stocks, but you can invest in terms of putting your money away for the long term, right?
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
you want
no,
to
that's
retire.
true.
Maybe you want to buy
But
a
what
home.
if they also want a coffee that day?
Listen, tell them buy
They
a coffee.
deserve
Listen,
it.
buy a coffee machine at home.
No, it's not
Go
the
to
same.
go to Market Basket.
See, this is the problem. People that are poor or don't have things, they still deserve simple luxuries. That's the point.
True.
People deserve little luxuries. Like, okay, perfect example. There's homelessness. That's across the country. The people without homes is nuts. But there are these like kind of, to me, you're an asshole if this is your thought, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry if I offend you. But if you think that a person that isn't housed should just take whatever it is that you give them, like if you want to give them some old ass, crusty ass mac and cheese that don't got a name brand and taste like feet, but because they can't afford something, they should just accept it. No, if you have that mentality, you are an asshole.
I guess you have to call me an asshole then, because at the same time, if you're out,
that beggars can't be choosers shit makes me mad.
Why though? Because at the end of the day, you're out there. It's especially when you're out there and you're doing what you can to help the individual, right? Like,
well, it's one thing if they're not appreciating it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just thinking about.
So I'm talking
about the overall like a person should just take whatever it is that I give them because I say that this is good for you.
I got you. All right, because I was thinking that you were on.
No, I'm talking about people that they're still appreciative. I don't like when someone who might be in a different social class thinks that somebody that's in a lesser social class should just take whatever. And that's that mentality, because I've done like those, I've had like those like kind of like old school attorneys come and do these like classes when I used to work at the mortgage company.
Yeah.
And one of the things is they love to be like, millennials love to buy Starbucks. They waste all their money on Starbucks.
And
they always
and avocado, there's better coffee
toast
out there than Starbucks.
I know, but they're like avocado toast and coffee. Like that's the driving force as to why people in our demographic don't have money. No. But even if you're not making a ton of money and it's hard to make ends meet, you still deserve something
nice. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah. But you gotta be appreciative to those who's trying to give to you if you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
And if you do take it and you decide not to use it or consume it, then that's your choice. But don't show a lack of appreciation for somebody that's trying to help
Now,
you
'cause
out.
you know what I think of?
That's one thing.
Remember back in the day when
What?
you go to like when they used to give the free lunches,
Mm,
right? We all loved them.
yeah,
But
I didn't. Are you
I
talking
get
about school
no,
or
like in
like
the summertime.
during the
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, in the
gosh, I miss them
summertime.
days.
Because then you get remember that triangle? Remember the triangle icy?
Yes, I
Yeah, it was
do.
like I don't know if it was supposed to be juice or not, but it was so good. I loved it. I
Yo,
loved
I
it
miss
because the
them
little
days.
syrup,
Yeah,
that little
yes,
syrup would
yeah,
get to the bottom, and
yes,
that was my favorite because I had a little sweet tooth. But you know what used to piss me off about those? The peanut
What's
butter
up?
and jelly sandwiches. Like the
What?
person that was mad, they must have been mad when they were making it. It was just like
Just smack it out.
just a smack of peanut butter and a pack of jelly, and they're like, "Well, it's free, kid." Right?
Nah,
That's
listen,
what I
I
think
rock
of.
with that.
When you
I
got
rock
that
with that.
soggy piece of bread in the middle. It looks gross because the jelly seeping
It
through
got
it.
it got socked up. You
Nah,
know what's
nah,
crazy
nah.
thing about that? Oh my gosh, you really brought back memories because I used to tear them peanut butter sandwiches up like there
Me too.
was
I
no
still ate
tomorrow.
them.
Like we didn't think nothing of it
I
when
did.
we
I
were
was
young.
mad at that jelly that was peeking through the bread, but I ate it. Nah. It was that little icy thing for me. That was my favorite. Yep. We would go to a couple of the parks.
Yeah.
We'd go to like Sackett, and then we go to the one down the street. Yep.
Yeah.
I get two
Nah, I used to go.
lunches.
Mine was Joslin Community Center because that was towards the North End, Manton Ave area.
Oh
I
yeah,
was at.
yeah.
That's where I was from.
Yep.
Another individual within the comment at M3 Media Studio states there's only two possible fixes at the local and state level:
Mm-hmm.
either freeze rent hikes or raise minimum wages. This goes back to
What we were talking about.
exactly. There's only so much the local government will be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is much too big to get really fixed unless the federal government makes the changes.
That's exactly what
That I think was probably one of my favorite comments within that
Yep.
post because it really resonated with the conversation that we had last week and a lot of the key points that you were making as well.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
it's true. Our local government, to me, is trying to solve for a nationwide issue, and on a larger government platform, I feel like that topic is kind of getting brushed under the rug and getting pushed off to local governments. And I don't think it's a representative's job to solve the problem. And I admire them for attempting to, but it's such a bigger issue that would be like little, just like one realtor trying to figure out just the inventory or just a handful of them trying to, or okay, we're doing it, right? You have people that are flipping and developing.
Yep.
They're adding to the inventory, but it's still not making the inventory like
It's not
double.
solving. Yeah.
It's not
It's not
solving the
solving
issue.
yeah.
It's helping,
Yeah.
but it's not going to solve anything. But then it would be like putting all of that on them.
Yeah.
Imagine just going to the few people that are the few developers who may or may not be realtors themselves, but that are building, flipping, and just attempting to boost the inventory, but telling them that this is their problem. Yeah. This is 100% solely their problem, and they have to solve for it. That's not fair.
It's not fair.
It don't make sense.
All right, here's my take on it. So for me, I kind of disagree that the government is the issue. The reason why I say that is because based off simple economics, right? When you have low inventory, but you have a high demand, right? That demand is what causes inflation.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's really, can it lean back to the government? Yes, right? Maybe.
I was speaking specifically about wages.
All right.
Because that can't come from a company level either. That has to come, the government has to step in and say, this is what minimum wage really needs to be.
Do you think the government should infiltrate corporate companies?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
This is where I kind of like, because at the end of the day,
you know how I feel about that.
I know, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that when you are running a company, right? I believe that government should keep their hands out of the way a corporate company does business, right? Because they weren't there to help build a company up, you know.
Well, but they allow the lobbying that allows people to be able to take advantage of
That's
people. I'm
and
sorry,
yes.
that is a problem when you work for a
Mhm,
multi-billion-dollar
mhm,
corporation and you put in 40 plus hours a week and you still need to get another job to
mhm,
sustain and you live basically.
mhm,
Like you live you're not out here with a crazy car payment. You're just living very basic. That's a problem for
mhm.
me. And it will never not be a problem for me.
No, I do.
And
I
I
do.
don't feel bad for billionaires.
I do. I do. That's always been your thing,
I
right?
don't.
With me, it's like more so like, listen, if I'm building this company, I'm building this company, and uh the pay structure falls, it falls, right? Because at the end of the day, like, yo, you have working bees
Mhm.
and you have the bosses,
Mhm.
right? The way the bosses sets that so the working bees could get paid, it is what it is. It's structured a certain way to keep businesses afloat, to keep people working, right? And listen, to make money too.
Yeah.
Am I a capitalist? Can you say I'm a capitalist? Maybe some people will say I'm a capitalist. Do I? And maybe I do agree with it. And I don't have nothing wrong with that issue at all because I do understand the aspect of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. We're
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, but I'm not a billionaire.
We're
And
not
I think
billion.
that's the problem. I think a lot of people get caught up in that. They be
Mm,
thousandaires,
mm,
but they want to act like they're Jeff Bezos. And
mm.
they like to when you're talking about the disparities
Yeah,
in income and wages and things like that,
yeah,
they're on the whole other spectrum. It's
yeah.
like he don't care about you, sir.
He doesn't.
He is not worried about little old you and your
But he
little
was
business.
he was
And you are
there at
not the
one
same.
point
Yeah,
though.
but
He was there at one. These
he don't care
billionaires
and we're
were,
not the same.
but he was there at one point in time. These billionaires were there at one point in time. They worked to build and structure the
Mhm.
business to get to the level that it's
Yeah,
at.
this is very true. You're admirable. I'm sorry. You're admirable. You get all those bragging rights. But my thing is that when you are like people need to just stop comparing themselves to like Jeff Bezos when we're
Yeah.
talking about the economy and where it is right now.
All right.
We're just in two different
Yeah.
worlds. Like focus on where you're at and then maybe that makes you a little bit more human.
Agree. Agree.
Like I think everyone is a little bit capitalistic. We all
Mm,
want to make more money. If I take more risk,
yeah.
I feel like I should
Mm,
have a little bit more um, than somebody that didn't.
yeah.
But it is a problem if you have a worker bee that can't afford bread
All right.
and you're like living lavishly.
Mm. Uh,
That's my point.
I think we could agree to disagree with that. At Miss at Miss, at Miss Drea, MZDREIA states both, but the fact that the state of Rhode Island has no cap on the amount that the landlord can raise rent is a huge problem for many, and it does not help that Rhode Island wages are much lower than wages in our neighborly states like Massachusetts, and Connecticut for the same exact jobs. We need this fixed ASAP, she said.
Mhm.
Different regions, different states have different economic structures.
Mhm.
That's the only way I could put it.
Yeah. This is true. But she's not wrong.
She's not
There
wrong.
are
That's
there
her
are
viewpoint.
yeah, there are people that, they're gonna go and travel an hour into Boston because they're gonna make more.
Mm,
Or they're gonna work in Connecticut because they're gonna make more.
yeah. But they
Just is
also
what
gonna
it
get
is.
taxed double.
They are.
Unfortunately,
They are.
you will
Sure
get
are.
you will get taxed
Taxes
double.
will get you.
Facts, facts,
And
facts.
remember, you're not Jeff Bezos. You're paying those taxes. People really be out here.
The comment that you made in regards to, I forgot who was the person who made that comment in
The one
terms of the
about being
population.
overly populated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a good comment, but
Mhm.
he said it as if it was a solution and it wasn't a solution.
That
He
was
said
my
that was he was
problem.
like it's a simple solution. I think that's almost the way he said it. It's a
Yeah.
simple solution. There are too many of us. So
Yeah.
basically but that's not a solution. You're
Yeah.
just stating what a problem is.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And I think that was my problem. I don't think population is going to play a factor into it because there's bigger states with a whole lot more
Hmm.
individuals or people that live in those states. So I don't think population is that issue. I think that if he when he did state that, I wish he would have went deeper to why he thought that.
Yeah.
So I could be able to understand his thought process behind it. Because
Yeah.
just saying that one line is like, all right, dude,
Well, he is a
don't-
realtor. He could be talking about the fact that, you know, there's like no land.
Mhm.
There's you know, it's
There's
very-
no land in New York.
I know, but I think that's what's the correlation there. Is like, you know, we're overpopulated. There's nowhere for anyone else to go. Like,
Mhm.
if we can't build more, where the hell do we live?
Mm.
Right?
I guess I wonder now. I wonder if the state will allow. All right, because we're overpopulated in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we start branching outside of the city?
I think. Well,
I think that could be a
maybe
solution.
I know. Maybe USDA needs to reevaluate some things.
Mm.
So for those types of loans, that you
Mm.
don't see them as much
Yeah.
in Rhode Island. We're not as rural, I guess, as like when you go Midwest.
Mhm.
But maybe that's something.
Maybe that could be something they look
Yeah, but
into.
people also don't want to live in the boondocks.
True,
And
but
this is Rhode Island. Anything more than 10 minutes, people are like, oh, it's
yeah,
far.
nah,
You
facts.
might as well pack up like a lunch. Yeah.
Nah, that's facts.
No, but switching gears.
Yes, talk.
Before we bring on our guests,
Yes.
because we got to get through this.
Yes.
Reesa Teesa.
Oh my gosh,
Chokehold.
girl.
I listened to it. I was doing my
Girl.
makeup.
Girl.
I had it playing while I was in the shower. I was just like in
Reesa
the
Teesa.
Reesa Teesa in the Legion of Doom. Like, there was so many names.
Oh my
and my
gosh.
thing is that I think we mentioned this last time. I love like watching like TikToks like that
Mhm.
or just series.
That
and
was actually the
and going
first
through the
TikTok with a series.
Yeah, but
to
going
that
through
level.
the comments. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love to watch something and look at the comments. Like, that's why it's hard for me to watch a show, because there's no
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite part. Like,
Nah,
just
facts.
being all up in the comments and seeing people go back and forth,
Mhm.
come up with these names. So
Yeah.
people are saying Tyler Perry should pick this up.
Tyler Perry on Netflix.
And Jill Scott should play her.
I saw a
And
bunch of people.
And I
think that's a
highly
good
agree.
fit. I
But
agree
can
with
we
that.
talk about how this man was putting in cash offers
Mhm.
on a house? Like,
Let's
from a real
talk
estate
about
perspective,
just the real estate point.
those
yeah,
2 episodes.
we need to definitely
I
have
was
that real
like,
discussion.
my mouth was, my mouth was on the floor at
Yeah,
points,
yeah.
because he had a level of balls
Mm.
to put in all cash offers,
Yeah.
show fake proof, and not even showing proof of funds, but he showed her the bank
Sheesh.
statements,
Yeah.
and it was fake.
Facts.
Like, he had some balls to be
It's-
doing that. But how did it take 3 realtors?
So here's the thing.
Free.
So for those who don't know who Reesa Teesa is, she's a lady from North Carolina who dated some bumfuck dude, right? Just real speaking real.
Yeah, pathological liar.
Pathological,
everything.
pathological liar, straight fraudster, straight scammer. Put this lady through the ringer, and I think we see a lot of these
Oh,
type
and
of
he
sit-
totally took
but
advantage
went
because it was
through to-
COVID.
He took advantage, and I think he also took advantage. I wonder if there was he noticed the lack of insecurity.
Well, yeah,
And
her
I don't
secu- yeah.
I don't want to get deep into that. I just want to focus on real estate. But she's a lady who garnered over 2 million followers because of her mini series that she threw on TikTok. And if you guys really
Who the
watched,
fuck did I marry?
Who the fuck did I marry?
Yep.
If you guys watched it, the most important thing that stood out to us because of our profession is the real estate point. And what she went through to try to find a house or buy a house was freaking insane.
Mm-hmm.
If my daughter ever went through that shit, I think I'll fucking try to choke the dude out. But going through multiple offers,
Yeah.
just to know that Legion didn't have his shit in order, no
He
pre-approval.
didn't even have a dollar. Yo, this man didn't even have a dollar.
Dude.
He didn't have a dollar, but it's crazy. Like, how did these realtors bring this person around? Because if I got approached today,
Yeah.
an investor, oh, I'm buying all cash. And actually, like, I have a couple that will hit me up every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know them that well. I might be like, okay, I have some off market deals. If it's something you're interested in, then we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah.
Because I'm only putting in so much effort.
Yeah.
But if I'm about to put an offer for somebody, I want a pre-approval. I want the proof of funds letter.
Yes. 100%.
But why didn't he at least give like a fake proof of funds letter at least? Like, if he was going this far with that
He
lie.
did. He had to chase.
No, he had the Chase account.
No,
But
he had to
that third,
chase
what was it,
pre-approval.
Amanda? Was that
The late,
last?
I think she was like the fourth realtor. I forgot her name or something like that. But she caught on to everything in
Yeah.
terms. She was like, she told Reesa. I wonder if that's really her real name, Reesa. But she
Oh,
told Reesa like, listen, um,
something's not right.
something's not right.
Yeah.
You know, she actually woke up and gave her that advice. And I
Yeah.
think that was very important from a real estate standpoint. When we're working with buyers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for us, it's very important that I personally, I don't know about you, Angela, I do not show any freaking properties to any buyers without no pre-approval.
Agreed.
When I first started this industry, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was hungry. I was trying to land a deal.
Yep.
You know, I was hustling.
Yep.
So I was doing what I can. You know what I mean? But how did that affect me? That affected me in a negative way because now I was like,
You're wasting your time.
wasting my time.
Yeah, no.
And
I
that's
ain't
what
doing it.
happened.
I'm not doing it.
Like, I would never, I told myself that I was like, especially watching this, it ensured me the reason why I refuse to show any buyers a home without pre-approval or some form of proof of funds.
Yeah. But from a pop culture standpoint, I can't wait. Like 10 years from now, where were you? When Reesa, Teesa, TikTok, whatever. That's like it's gonna be in like a board game.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be nuts when we're like grandparents and we're talking about pop culture and TikTok and these types of things. Because like during COVID, we're gonna talk about Tiger King.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Then we're gonna talk about this.
Yep.
Like what's next?
Yeah. I think 2024 itself, so much has been going on culturally, especially within our community and stuff like that, or within our culture, should I say, has been going on. That's sadly to say, it's making us Black and brown folks look bad.
You think so?
I think so. I definitely do think so.
Like what?
I don't want to go deep into it, but like the way, and this is just outside real estate real quick, the way which the comedians are acting right now in the game, this Reesa Teesa situation, there's just a few other things. Like I feel like we are not collectively coming together and supporting each other the way we should, and I think we're letting each other down, and I don't know. That's just my point of view.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm
gonna have to ponder upon that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
But on another note,
yeah,
we have a special guest coming onto the platform.
Very excited.
So right after our commercial break, this person you guys are going to learn from, because she's making a major impact. I don't want to go deep into it. We will go deep into it. She's going to share her story. But when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to get right to it. The lady,
yes,
Joanna
Munoz. We're gonna chit chat. She's a little TikTok famous. The people know
Instagram
her. She's
famous.
talented.
She's extremely fucking talented. Part of my language. But I had to swear right there to emphasize like how extremely talented
I bought a
this young
tool
lady
because
is.
I saw she had it.
You bought a tool?
Yeah. She has she put me on the miter.
What's that?
The miter cutter. She'll tell me what the real
name
all right.
is.
Yeah, I'd be excited. It's to cut quarter round.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait till this lady
you
talk.
You just dial it. You should have saw me all proud showing my dad. Look at my new tool.
When we come back, you guys gonna meet Miss Joanna, painting by the pennies. Let's go.
There we go.
Oh, shit. This episode is brought to you by Caltif Investments and Consultants. If you're looking for investments for new construction, home, or renovation project, they definitely can provide that service. If you're looking to rent or lease a property, Caltif Investment is the way to go. If you're watching this from our Instagram page, definitely their handle will be within the body of the post. If you're watching this, the full episode on YouTube, definitely send me a message and I'll definitely connect you. It's called the Netwrk for a reason.
Hey, welcome back. We have our special guest, Joanna Munoz, painting by the penny. Little background on Joanna. She was born in New York. She her background is Dominican. Right. Yeah, but she grew up in Providence. I actually went to elementary school with her.
That's what's up.
They know a lot of her family. actually. The name Painting by the Penny. Do you know how she got that name?
No, I'm really
I'm like
intrigued to hear that
embarrassing her.
story.
Like I'm doing,
No,
I'm
you're
doing
good,
all of
you're
this,
good.
right? So her dog's name is Penny. So when she
Gotcha.
was doing all her, like, I'd be paying attention. When she
Did
would
your
be doing
research.
her, when she was doing like her DIY stuff and flipping furniture and things like that. Well, Penny would be right there. She's so cute.
Wow.
Have you seen her? She's like, I don't even, what kind of dog is she? I don't even know, but she's so cute. So that's how she got that name. And so she's been at this for a while. I think she started her journey like 2016. Just kind of doing furniture flips, and it's just kind of expanded, and now she's stepping into the world of design, and people are asking her to design their homes, give advice. So she started this like kind of almost like a hobby,
Yeah.
and has turned it into full-time content creation. Yeah. So
Interesting. You know what's
know,
you know what's
fucked
crazy,
up.
because like when this whole platform started, and I think I started following her on the platform. I was like, yo, who is this person? Like, yo, and the stuff that she was doing was, I just thought was dope, you know. So Joanne, if you don't mind, can you talk a little bit about yourself in terms of who you are, what you
Yeah.
do?
Thank you
Let's
for
go.
having me. I'm so
You're
excited to
welcome.
be
I
here.
know.
You're welcome.
My name is Joanna. I am a nurse, a blogger,
Get out.
Yeah.
Damn.
a content creator,
A jack of all
and
trades.
now an interior designer.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Wow.
I started painting furniture, just literally looking for a hobby. So I worked third shift as a nurse,
Yep.
only 3 days a week if I wasn't picking up any overtime or anything. And then I would be home alone during the day on my nights off. So I was just craving some sort of like creative, like to just let my creative juices
Yeah.
out. And I was looking for solid wood furniture that is hard to find these days, let me tell you. And then I just started painting like older pieces of furniture, doing it for people. And then one thing led to another, and I started sharing it online. And now people are asking me to design their spaces. So I'm slowly going into the interior design space now too.
That's fly.
Yeah, because you decided you're gonna go to school too, right?
Yeah,
You're
so
gonna do
I,
some
I
studying.
enrolled in the New York Institute of Art and
Get
Design
out of here.
online, and I'm taking courses now. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: was creativity a skill set that you always had, or was it something that you honed into out of boredom?
I feel like I've always been a creative person. It just depends on the season I'm in, right? So
Interesting.
sometimes, like, well, for nursing, like nursing school was no joke. That was
Yeah.
really hard. But I like to learn. I like to feel like I'm actually like doing something, improving in some sort of way. So that took a lot of my time. Once I started getting comfortable in my job, then I felt like, all right, now I want to be able to not look at myself like I'm just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. Like I always wanted a little extra, something that made me like really excited.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been that type of person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember, like, for me, creative wise, I used to draw when I was young. A lot of my talents came from that, you know. So like over the course of time, I stopped drawing at a certain period because my dad wanted to throw all my comic books, so I was a big
yeah.
comic book collector.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped drawing. And then years later, when I started diving into real estate, little by little, I've noticed my creativity start coming back around. So for me, my creativity has always been there because I always drew, you know. So for me, I was just intrigued to understand how your creativity came about, you know what I mean? Because it's either you're born with a skill set or you learn the skill set.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm actually learning the skill set, especially like the DIY,
Yeah.
the construction, the remodel portion of it, because that's not something that I thought that I would be doing now. Like I thought nursing was going to be like my whole career. Like
Yeah.
I thought I was going to, retire with my nursing career. But for me, I've always like, even in school when I had projects or anything, like I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Like we went to elementary
Yeah,
school and I
yeah.
remember doing projects and I took those things serious. Like
Yeah.
that was
I did too.
that
You know?
those little poster boards.
Yeah.
Like that. But I wasn't like a super, like, I don't know how to draw.
Yeah.
My penmanship, I always made sure it was good. Things like that, like little were quirky things that
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that I was good at. But yeah, I've always felt like a creative person, but the skill set I'm learning as I go. Because honestly, like a lot of people don't really know what the hell they're doing out here.
Interesting.
The difference is that are you willing to learn?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm willing to take the time to sit and do the research and be like, yo, how do I sand a piece of furniture and paint it? You know, like how do I make a space look better?
Yeah.
You do the research. There's so many resources online now that it's like, I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna learn how to do this, how to use tools.
Now, do you think you kind of started that journey from like buying your first home? Because I think I'm pretty handy. I don't have the same passion that
You
you
actually
have.
are handy.
Yeah.
Like you and your husband Vic. I
Yeah.
know Vic's extremely handy,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you got your traits from your family or if with you and Vic. You know,
My dad's a
connected, but-
contractor, so definitely it was that. Really, I always say like poorness brings out resourcefulness. So we didn't
Love
have a
it.
lot, right?
Absolutely.
And
Love it.
even still,
Absolutely.
like if I want to do a project at my house and I price it out and it's 10 grand, and I'm not in a position to spend that $10,000,
You gonna
then you got to
figure it out.
figure
Yeah.
out how you're gonna do it. It might not be perfect,
Right.
but you're gonna have to figure it out. So did you find like buying your first home was kind of like the thing that opened
Oh
up
yeah,
your eyes
absolutely. When I bought my first home, I can't remember what year. I'm terrible with time. 2012
You're terrible
maybe?
with time. I'm terrible with navigation. So don't feel bad. She craps on me all the time. So don't
Yeah,
feel bad.
well,
Go ahead.
I can't remember
So-
anything,
Go
so it's
ahead.
fine.
I bought my first house and I was so excited. I was like, oh, I get to decorate a space. Not that I wasn't able to like decorate in my apartments and stuff. Like my partner and I, we lived in like a little studio apartment and it had like a massive brick wall. And looking back now, I'm like, damn, I could have hooked that little place
Right.
up.
Missed
Like, you know?
opportunity.
But to me, it was like, yo, let's just buy what we can
Yeah.
with the little that we had and just put it here. Once I bought my house, that kind of opened up the whole, like, ooh, the pieces I'm going to get for my home now is going to be very intentional. Like, I want to make sure that these things last.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to buy cheap furniture to then constantly keep buying it.
Gotcha.
And my son was super young. So when you have kids, you have to really think about what you're buying because at the end of the day, they're probably going to destroy it. Like
Facts.
you can't buy a white couch
Facts.
if you have 3 2-year-olds or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
Right.
so it has to be functional. And I wanted a TV stand. And I was looking, and these TV stands I was not a fan of. I'm like, this is particle board. Like, what is this?
Very cheap.
Yeah.
Very cheap. And I was like, let me look online. I went on Pinterest, and I saw someone turn a dresser into a TV stand, and I was like,
Wow.
ooh, I could do that. And then I did more research, and I'm like, oh, chalk paint. What is chalk paint? That was like when Annie
Everything.
Sloan chalk paint was like a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
So I bought paint and thrifted a cheap, I think I paid like $20 for a solid wood dresser and painted it, and that opened up a whole can of worms. Because for me, I was like, if I'm spending $20 on something that I could possibly mess up, I'm like, at least it was just $20.
Yeah.
At least I'm not paying over $300 for a
Facts.
dresser that's gonna break in a couple months, or like
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess it up and something's gonna happen to it, and then that's a bigger loss.
Facts.
You know, so
I love how you actually stated the price point of what you bought the item for, right? Because I have seen content of other people purchasing I guess you want to say refurbished items,
Yes.
right? And
Yep.
then you take them and you basically fix them up, do what you got to
Yeah.
do. How do you go about how do you outsource not outsource, how do you go about finding the items that you want and realizing this item will fit in this perfect spot, and then at the same time coming up with a creative idea to make it look the way you want it to look?
yeah. That's definitely a skill in itself, honestly.
Yeah.
But when I love thrift shopping.
Me too.
Thrifting
That's
for
where I wanted to
me
go with it. There we go.
Love it.
is, and I love taking my audience on my thrifting
I've
journey
noticed.
too.
I
Like
love
they
it.
love when
Shout outs to
if
that.
I
I
can
love
go
when you do that.
thrifting every
Yeah.
weekend, I would.
Yeah.
which I might do.
Yeah.
Because I got time now.
Yeah, now you have
Now I
time.
got time. But I love thrifting.
Yeah.
And I love Facebook Marketplace.
Mm.
And let me tell you, Facebook Marketplace is very entertaining.
It is.
The exchanges you have with people is like, what is going on here?
Mm.
It can be a little scary.
Wow.
But thrifting for me, when I go thrifting and I see a piece, I don't look at it as just what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I look at it, first of all, I take my measuring tape everywhere I go. I have like 3 measuring tapes in my car.
Mhm.
Every time I go shopping, I have my measuring tape.
Yeah.
Because if I have a piece in mind that I want for a specific space,
Oh.
I can measure and be like, okay, this may work. If it's not the color I want, if something's off about it, I don't look at it as what it is. I always think, this is fine. It can be painted. I can cut the legs. We can shorten it. We can do so many other things to it. Just because it doesn't look exactly how you want it when you see it at the store, especially when you're thrifting, doesn't mean you have to settle for it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't
Right.
change it.
So
to what you want.
recently, I did a little entryway in my living room, and I bought a bench.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't like how the bench looks right now, but let me tell you, I will make it look the way I
Yeah.
want it.
'Cause it was
that
solid. It's a
fits
solid
my-
piece
it's a
of wood,
solid
yeah.
piece of pine wood.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at things. But when you go thrifting, that in itself, it's like you got to really think about it. You can't just go to a thrift store and be like, I'm just gonna see what I find and whatever. I go with a purpose. So I'm like, I need to hone down because people get really overwhelmed when they go thrifting because it's a lot. You walk into the stores and
And
you're
some
like,
of them are messy.
you feel like you're going into like a hoarder's
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see what you want to get. But for me, I'm like, all right, this is what I want. I'm going to hone down on that. And then I walk through the aisles at least 3 times.
Get out of there. Why?
Because there's always something you're going to miss, especially if there's a thrift store that has a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I walk in different directions. During COVID, I couldn't do that because they had like the arrows where you had to
you
like.
had to walk that
so
one.
Yeah.
annoying. Yep.
So there's a thrift store near my house that I love to go
Mhm.
to. I walk in a certain way, and then I turn around and I walk the other way
Mhm.
because I see different things. There's some things that I may miss that I didn't see,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I do it.
That's a pretty interesting
Yeah.
pattern, right?
Mhm.
That you created for yourself. So I'm really fascinated by the whole thing that you have going on, right? But before I even forget, I want to talk about your weight loss journey. So remind me to get back to that because I
Yep.
know
Yeah.
that. But sticking to the matter, as you call yourself a DIY
DIYer.
DIYer,
Yeah.
and how do you create like I guess I forgot what they call it, almost like a design sheet
Mhm.
of what you want your items to look like, or do you just go at it just from the top of your mind and just go in and just do your own creative thing?
So when it comes to furniture, I don't draw anything. But
Mhm.
when it comes to like spaces in my house,
Mhm.
I do. And my boyfriend does. He loves to draw. He's good at it.
All right.
I tell him this is what I want, draw it for me.
Mm.
And I create mood boards on Canva.
That's what. Thank you
So-
for
Yeah.
it. Yep.
So that's another thing I
Yeah.
do. I work with like colors. I get
Pattern,
ideas.
texture, yeah.
Yeah, I put that all on paper when I do spaces.
Mhm.
And that's very helpful. But for me, what I want to show people is that, especially in this economy with the inflation, you can have really nice things,
Mhm.
right? It just takes a little bit of work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of furniture. There's a lot of things out there that is a lot cheaper, and is a lot better than what the quality of the things that are being
Yeah.
sold out there now. So just because you don't have a lot of money or you don't feel like you have a lot of money, everyone deserves a space that's like a luxury to them,
Mhm.
especially if they're calling it home, whether you are in an apartment or a house, it doesn't matter. If you're in a space, a little studio, a bedroom,
Mhm.
that should be your sanctuary, right? You should have pieces in there or designed in a way where it makes you feel good,
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
you know? So
Yeah.
for me, I'm not out here saying like, buy this $5,000 couch at
Yeah.
Pottery Barn.
Yeah, but if you
If you
posted
don't
it,
have
people would
that,
buy it.
Oh, 100%.
You'd be influencing.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you don't have that, you can have something that looks just like that
Yeah.
for a lot cheaper. You just have to look
This
at the
is true.
resources.
I
you
do
have.
love that
Yeah.
you do
You
that.
know?
I do love that you
Yeah.
do that. She'll find like an expensive item
Mhm.
from like a Pottery
Yes.
Barn or something, and then she'll do something with honestly like scrap stuff that she has around with her
Mm-hmm.
paint and her baking soda, and she's like
Yes.
making like
My
redoing
lamps.
your lamps. I followed that lamps.
Yes.
I
I
follow
I
that lamp
thrifted
series.
lamps
Yeah.
Wow.
that to some people they probably don't look good. People probably walk by these things and like, that's an ugly ass
Yeah.
lamp. I'm not buying that.
Hmm.
You throw some paint on that thing and you transform it. And these lamps are like $300 on
Yeah.
these websites,
Mhm.
and you're like, this is similar to what's online.
And the same can be said about houses. Obviously, we always want to bring
Yes.
stuff back to real estate, but it's
Yeah.
like it's the same thing, because even with the house that you live in now,
Mm-hmm.
this is your second house.
Yes.
You know, you did the are those cedar shingles? You did the exterior.
Those are vinyl.
Those are
Yeah, that's
vinyl. Oh, that's so
vinyl.
For the exterior of
pretty.
your house?
So
The
she did the,
exterior of
it
my
looks like the
house.
shingles, but
Yeah,
she did
I saw
vinyl.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Well, the brand likes to say it's composite.
Composite.
Mm.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
You
It's
know, I would say
composite.
it's composite.
But like, I mean, you've done
but yeah,
so
that's
much.
that's not real wood.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that think that's real
Yeah, but
wood.
no maintenance.
No maintenance.
No maintenance.
No
But
maintenance.
but your standpoint on like your creativity and how you bring that into your home and how people are deserving of
Mhm.
having beautiful, nice things. If we translate that back into real estate, it's the same thing. Whether you're buying a two-bedroom house,
Yeah.
one bathroom, whether it's small, whether it's big, even if it's not the prettiest, you can make it what you want to make it. And paint really does go a long way.
100%.
Paint is the cheapest way to make something look better.
Yeah.
Paint is extremely powerful.
No,
You can
facts.
paint a room and completely transform
Yeah.
it.
That's definitely true. Especially when you use lighter tone, you can make a room look a smaller space look
Even
a
like
lot bigger.
even like a darker, moodier. Like it
Yes.
really just
It
depends.
depends on what you're looking for.
What do you want the room
Yeah.
to do for you?
Yeah.
Like if you want this like
Yeah.
cheery, like for me, I can't do like blacked out curtains in my bedroom anymore.
Mhm.
I decided that actually doesn't make me wake up
Yes.
in a good way.
Mm.
So I just have like regular curtains. So when the sun comes up, I just naturally wake up
Mhm.
and organically wake up. But if you're like not into that and you like a moodier, darker space,
this
then
is
you should
why
do
I
that.
say, like, so design is a feeling
Mhm.
for me,
Mm.
because when
I
I
love that.
work with clients, so I'm taking clients on now, all sorts of clients, whether you have an apartment, a home, because a lot of people want to feel a certain way in their space, but they don't know how to approach that or
Yeah.
where to even begin. I feel like the way you feel in a room is highly impacted by what's around you.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't know what that is. They're like, I want to every time I sit with someone, I always ask them, how do you want to feel in this space? What do you want it to look like?
Mhm.
Right? Because it has to be functional. We're
Yeah.
not just making pretty spaces here for the gram.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be
Facts.
functional.
Definitely.
There's people that have kids, pets.
Yeah.
But like you said, blackout curtains, that works for some people and that works
For others.
for others, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, design is 100% a feeling. It should make you feel a certain way when you walk into a space.
So you sit down with a client and you talk
Mhm.
about how they want to feel in the specific space.
Yeah.
What does that journey look like for that client? How do you take them on that journey of transitioning a space from a bare space or maybe a space that's already what it is and just transition that around for them? What does that journey look
Yeah.
like?
So in the beginning, it honestly is an interview.
Yeah.
I ask them questions and we see if we can work well together, because
Yeah.
I'm not for everyone. Not everyone is for me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a partnership. We're collaborating.
Yeah.
We're going to work together. Once we decide that we are going to work together, I ask them to send me inspiration photos, because that's how I know what you like, right? So we all like different styles of design. What I do in my home, so my house is from the 1920s, and the way, this is going to sound a little weird, but the way I like spaces speak to me in a sense.
Mhm.
So my house, right? I can't walk into my home that's from 1921
Mhm.
and make it super modern. There's something about the space, there's character in that space that tells me, like, vintage thrifted items, like this style works
Mhm.
best for this home.
Yeah.
I had a friend walk into my house and said, this feels very New England.
Mm.
And that's exactly what my house is. It feels very New England. It feels 1920s. It's a little American, four square, and that's what the experience I want people to have when they walk into my house. So it's weird for me to say that, like, spaces speak to me, and even furniture. Like, my boyfriend used to ask me, like, what color you paint in this piece, and I'd be like, I gotta sit on it, you know.
Yep.
And this is why I say home takes time, because you can't walk into a space, right, and then be like, I want this, want that. Like, you're gonna put it together, and it's gonna be like, oh, something feels a little off. It takes time to get it done. I've worked with clients for several months, years even, because these things take time. So he would ask me, what color you paint in this piece? And I'm like, it hasn't spoken to me yet.
Hasn't
Like,
told me.
Yeah, like, it hasn't really spoken to me yet.
Yeah.
So I give it a few days. Sometimes I come up with ideas for my own home, and I sit on it. Because I'm like, all right, I just want to make sure
it could change.
that this is going to be what's going to work. You look very confused. Your
No,
face
because
right now.
I'm so tuned in. I'm so tuned in, right? Because I'm like, with me, like, I love when people, I don't want to say people, but entrepreneurs or people who have some form of level of talent. I'm so tuned into their knowledge behind it. So when I sit there, I'm really like focused and trying to understand and tune into what you were saying. And as you were talking, in my head, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but as you were talking, I was already thinking, because you were starting to break it out, like, yo, I could see her as a New England design type of DIYer.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was trying to figure you out. I was like, and I want you to finish what you were saying, because I was going to ask you, but then you already started breaking it down. I was trying to like figure out, is she more of a modern type of DIYer? But then when you broke it down and I look at you, I'm like, that's her.
I think she's a true designer, so she's actually taking into account the environment.
Yeah.
So it really just depends. Like, her house is 1920s, so and she chooses not to step outside of that, because there's so much character in homes at that point, at that, like, that time period. So
which
you want to
is
lean
specific
into
to
it.
my home,
Right.
So when I'm working with a client and they have different homes, that's something different.
Gotcha.
I was asked, what's your design style? Like, what's one thing that you're gonna go with?
And that's what I was trying to figure out.
It's difficult for me, because I can't use the same design style I use in my own home and apply it to everyone. You know what I mean? So when I'm working with clients, I want to know what they want to feel in this space. How do they want it to function? So it's like an interview process. They send me like their inspo photos, and then I work with that, and we work together, and I show them my ideas. They show me theirs, and then we go from there.
That's an amazing journey.
So every project is completely different.
Gotcha.
I love vintage and thrifting. That's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So I can walk into a space and you're like, you want it modern? I'm going to tell you what paint colors will brighten up a space. If you want dark and moody, I'll tell you what paint colors work in this space. If you want to feel a certain way, this is what the colors that will boost your mood. You know what I mean? Things like that. That people don't recognize right away until they see it. Or it's hard for them to even communicate. So I help them kind
use
of
their
like
words.
bring it out.
Figure out how to use their words.
Yeah.
So tell me, what did your family think when you switched gears the way you did? Because you went
So
from
I-
nursing.
That's a good
I
question.
mean, you quit. Like,
That's
let's call it what it is. You quit.
It's a risk factor, right?
Yeah, you took a risk. You
So-
quit.
100%.
You quit. You were
100%.
blogging at that
Yes.
point. You were really putting a lot of effort into
Yeah.
like your passion project.
Yes.
Let's call it. It was your passion project for a little bit.
Yep.
And then you were like, all right, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So during COVID, as a nurse, I nurses are gonna probably disagree with me. It wasn't that bad because of the department I was in.
Yeah.
The population I was working with wasn't as affected by COVID in terms of getting COVID and the symptoms. The only thing that sucked was that they had to be separated from their families. That was pretty sad. It wasn't bad. After COVID, it just became just healthcare in general became extremely toxic. So people's true colors started coming out during
Wow.
COVID.
And what's
Nurses that you like, coworkers that you're like, oh, we're nurses, like we're gonna take care of people. The fear started coming over them.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so it was like a lot of things that you see that you're like, oh, so you really don't want to work and be at the forefront.
Yeah.
Not that we were.
Ooh.
Like, I'm not considered, like, I don't like using those terms.
Yeah.
Like, nurses are superhero. I'm like, that's kind of weird to me.
For
but,
some, they are.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that's fine. For me, it's more of like,
She was like,
for me, it's
wasn't.
more of like, I'm here to serve my patient
Yeah.
and their family. I'm here to advocate for my patient. I'm not here to take credit on I saved the day. Like, that's not my thing. That's
Like that
weird.
perspective.
Yeah. So it started becoming a little toxic. So I had still at the end of the day, still calling it a little hobby. Started my LLC 3 years ago, I think. And then I kept telling my boyfriend, like, I think I want to do this like full time.
Eventually.
Right, eventually. Now, the money I was making with nursing is nothing compared to what I'm making now. So
Get
that was a
outta here.
huge, drastic change. But in 2018, we actually started paying off all of our debt, and we became debt free in 2020, February 2020.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
With no plan in mind. Like, I didn't do this thinking like,
Congratulations.
oh, I'm gonna be able to quit my job, because even at that time I was still thinking like, oh, I'll still work.
Yeah.
This is still like a little side hustle. The little hobby turned into a side hustle. And we did that. We looked at the numbers. We bought a rental property in December 2020.
Yeah.
So when people were scared, we were like,
Yes.
we're buying property, which was perfect because
I love it.
the timing of that was perfect, because our house, we bought it before like the prices skyrocketed and interest rates went like wild.
Yeah.
So we got really lucky with that. And then we looked at the numbers, and I was like, I think I can take a break from nursing and go all in on this and see what happens. And that's what I'm
And what
doing
did Lewis
now.
say?
Super supportive. Lewis has
That's
been,
dope.
so Lewis is my partner. We've been
Shout
together for
out
almost
to all
20
those
years.
supportive partners
Yes.
out there. Straight
Wait,
up.
how long have you been
Straight
together?
up. Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Yo, straight up.
Yeah.
Can I find somebody that could be
I
be
know.
with for
It's
20
so
years?
fun.
What the hell?
I love this journey because, like I
Wow.
said, we went to elementary school together, and then we went our separate ways,
Yeah.
whatever. But you still feel very connected with the people you grew up with
100%.
through social media.
Yeah.
So she'd be posting about Lewis, and she'd post about her son Aiden, and I'd be like, we live very similar lives.
Yes, we do.
We do live very, like, our sons are very
yeah,
similar.
So
you've
weird.
told me
Kids
that
love the
Oh, yeah,
before,
Legos.
so
Like,
similar.
they're very similar, and they, like, just their mannerisms, their little, like, sarcastic things that they do, very, very similar. So I think it's like, yes,
I know.
Lewis. Shout out to Lewis.
Shout out
Being
to Lewis.
supportive.
He's that man.
Nah, that's what's up. Shut up,
He just
man.
be
Shut
going
up.
along with all your stuff.
He's like, whatever you want, babe, I got you.
She'd be like,
respect, respect.
She'd be like, we're going to Lowe's, and then she just pans to him in the car,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
like
like,
driving. He's like, because I'm a passenger princess at the end of the day.
But you know what it is? I get he's
He
not
truly
a problem. He believes in
me.
yeah.
Yes,
that's
what
dope.
it is.
You can't even take take that
Yes.
away from a partner who truly believes in
Yes.
their partner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you have that level of trust in somebody
Right.
that you love, I feel
Right.
like the sky's the limit.
But tell me
'Cause
what
I'm
your
a very
mom-
passionate person, so he sees that passion and he's like,
That's
this
dope.
what's your
is
mom
going-
think though?
So it's
because I love that story.
Yes,
I love
my
when you
mom.
post. I
My
love when
mom
you
is
post
a
about your
true
mom.
Dominican mother.
Yeah.
And
Oh, for
for
real?
those that don't know,
I
she'll
love
tell you,
Dominican moms. They love me. I love y'all Dominican moms.
she'll tell you like it is.
Yeah.
They all do.
So what did she say?
I honestly didn't. I was shocked by her reaction.
Mm.
I still think I'm not sure if in her mind she thinks like, oh, this is just like temporary, like you're still gonna be like working as a nurse. But I didn't really have a big reaction from her
Oh wow.
because I think it's because she's seeing the clients that I'm working with.
Interesting.
So and it's making her proud,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh,
You're making
she's
money.
doing this. Oh, she's working with this person.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's helping these people.
Mhm.
But I didn't have a big reaction. Actually, the reaction that I got that I was shocked by was my kid.
Why?
He was like, Mom, you're not going to be a nurse anymore? Like, how, like, what are you doing? Like, he was-
Irresponsible.
yeah.
He was like, "Who is this irresponsible
"What?"
mother of mine? You're quitting?"
Yeah, his reaction was like a little shocking to me.
Was it because he didn't understand, or it was just pure shock?
I didn't think he would really care as much as he,
given his personality.
Yeah, given his personality. Plus, he's very like in his own world, so you think like he's not listening. That boy is listening to everything I'm saying, everything I'm doing. He's definitely watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was his reaction. He was like, I've been telling people you're a nurse like my whole life. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So his reaction was shocking. But now he's he's seeing the rewards coming, and he's like, oh snap! Like,
yeah,
this is pretty cool.
That's what's up.
So yeah, we have a partnership coming up that I'm extremely excited about. I can't share much about it.
Okay.
But he's very excited about it.
Oh, really?
And it's funny how it works, because I joked about this partnership before with him, and now we're gonna be doing it soon, and he's like, oh, this is
Oh, he's seen it
local-
come full
fun.
circle
Let
from
me
a
ask you this.
dream to actual
Local
fruition.
partner? Is it a local
Not
celebrity
local
partner or
partnership.
national celebrity?
National, yeah,
Get
like
out of it.
worldwide.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
So the thing about social media, which is insane,
Mhm.
it could be a very negative thing.
Yes.
The pressure to have, like, especially coming from a space where, like, I'm following people and my algorithm is all about these massive houses, interior design, like on an upscale level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fine. But the community around me and the community that I'm in, let's lower it down a little bit in terms of, like, let's be a little bit more realistic, right?
But that's why people love you. But that's why people love you, and that's why people gravitate towards you. Yes.
Like we all have similar spaces, right? I'm not in a massive house telling you, like, easy way to design or easy way to furnish
a big space,
a massive space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll probably get there, not really, because I don't really like huge houses like that.
All right.
But I want to keep it relatable. But the pressure of seeing these, like, beautiful, like, professionally photographed photos on social media may affect you negatively. But for me, the way I look at it is, I have the dopest conversations with people on my DMs sometimes. Like, it's so cool. And the clients that I've received is all because of Instagram. Everyone finds me on Instagram. And I don't know, I just think it's super dope. Like, a lot of people look at, like, numbers, like how many followers do you have and all that stuff. I look at it as, that's my portfolio. Like, you want to see what I do, you want to see my projects, you want to see my home, it's on there. It's like a little open book.
I always told people it's not about the amount of followers that you have, because you don't need millions of followers. That's something that I've always preached to so many people who ask me about social media content. You don't need millions of followers. You just need to be able to prove your talent on your platform.
Right.
You can have 2,000 followers.
Well, the engagement speaks for itself too, especially on your page. You get a lot of people that are
if people see the
interacting.
true work,
Yeah.
they see the true work, the true talent behind it, they are going to reach out to you. Well, I want to ask you, I was taking notes while you were talking. So you're on this journey right now. I want to talk about, and we don't need to speak numbers or anything of that nature, but I want to talk about your business model in totality, right? You right now you own a rental property.
Yes.
You're doing projects for people.
Yep.
She owns a single family. In a single family home as well.
Single family, and you have a single family home. You have your social media content. How does these business model, the things that you have going on, how has it impacted you financially, and how is money being generated from each one of these different models?
So the rental property, we which our rents aren't super high, we're below market, let me tell you, because these rent prices are insane, which I want to talk about that in a little bit. Affiliate marketing. So I have an Amazon storefront, I have Like to Know It, and almost all of the decor and, like, furniture that I share, I get a commission off of based on people buying there.
Affiliation marketing is big.
I have ads on my blog which generates income as well. And then with my clients, which is what's making me the most income right now, we either, depending on the project, I either do an hourly fee or a flat rate. And we discuss whether or not I can share that on social media. Only because if you're paying me for a service to design a room for you, you're paying me, right? Yeah. And if I share that on social media and people say, where'd you get that curtain? Where'd you get that couch? That's free information that I'm giving to people. They can design their own spaces exactly like you just paid for free. So I always like to have that discussion with my clients to see if it's okay to share. Not that. See, because the problem is in interior design world, there's a lot of gatekeeping, right? Something always, like you ask someone, where'd you get that? And they're like, they're always looking for some sort of
Google Images.
Yeah, exactly.
You just throw that joint right in
Google,
there,
right?
Google Images. Do
so
that.
There's a lot of
search.
gatekeeping, and I don't like doing that. I like to tell you exactly what I paid for and where I got something.
Well,
and,
especially because you can monetize off of it too,
right? And I love to tell you whether or not it sucks or not. Because I could buy something online and look at it in real life and be like, damn.
Oh, yeah, you have been doing that too. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You know? So I like to share, especially on Amazon, because I mean, who doesn't shop on Amazon these days? I like to share, like, the things that I would buy again and I wouldn't buy again.
And I think there's a lot of fake stuff on social media when it comes to people talking about certain items, right?
Items, products.
Products, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's much better if content creators or influencers speak negatively and positively about the products they're displaying or showcasing.
But some people are getting paid. Some people are getting paid. And
all right,
so
if you're getting paid, but if you're not getting paid for it, be genuine and honest about it.
Right.
You know, if
Which
you
I
can.
think a lot of people have been a little bit more. I forget what it's called on TikTok. There was a trend.
Uninfluencing.
Yes.
They're uninfluencing you to do certain things.
Right. And I think that kind of helped. For me, I'm also doing like sponsorships and like partnerships, but I'm extremely picky with who I do it with.
Love it.
I try not to rely on that source of income, because for me, products are extremely important, and what I advise to you and the trust that people have on me is extremely important to me. So I'm not going to work with a company that I'm like, something doesn't feel right. If something doesn't feel right, I'm out. If you send me something to test and then you want me to share it and be like, this is the best thing, I'm obsessed.
Oh, you don't want to be like,
I always
like,
know.
nah.
Sometimes that comes out of me and I'm like, damn. So like, I'm obsessed with this product. When I'm not, I can't do it. I'm a terrible salesperson. Let me tell you that. Like, I can't do it. I can't get excited for something. Yeah. If it's decent for the price I paid, it's a good product for the price. If it's cheap, but if I'm paying a lot of money and it's not up to par, it's going to be very difficult for me to tell you.
So as we're talking about your business and like its trajectory, right? You did refinish your garage to make your workspace. Do you think you're going to outgrow that space? And what does that look like for you?
So I don't think I'm going to outgrow it just yet. I think it depends, because I feel like I'm doing a little bit of everything right now. The content creation, the blogging. I have the clients with interior design. I'm working with brands. That's a lot of work. I'm just trying to see what excites me the most, right? And I also want to be able to buy more property, to have the creative freedom to design it the way I want, right? And then give people the experience to have in it.
Yeah.
So Airbnb is something that I've always been interested in.
You designed one.
I designed one for a friend. Yep. And when I designed that for my friend, I really wanted people to walk into the space and be like, this is super cool. Like, everything has intention here. Like, that makes sense. This is here for this purpose. That makes a lot of sense. So one of my goals eventually is to have property where I can have people experience, because experiences and feelings are a huge thing for me.
In what way?
So I want you to walk into a space that I own, either if you're on vacation or anything like that, and have a really good experience. You know, I feel like where you stay, like whether or not it's a hotel or Airbnb, like hospitality is a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's part of your experience. If you go on vacation, you want to stay in a nice place, right?
Facts.
No matter where you are, you want your space to be kind of cool. You don't want it to be dirty.
Yeah.
You want it to be designed well.
Yeah.
You want it to be like, oh, dang, it's right there.
Yeah.
Or the information's right here. That's part of the experience for me. So I want to be able to do that. So outgrowing my garage space, I don't know.
Because that might not be your journey. You're in your R&D era. You're in your research and development era.
She's still early.
Yeah,
still
she's
I
still
am still
growing,
early.
but
I mean,
still
I just
early.
left my nursing job in August.
So
It
not
hasn't
even a
been a
year.
year.
Yeah.
So that's, but
That's
I
brave.
try not to. When I go thrifting, I see pieces and I'm like, oh my God.
Because
if
you
I
can overdo
buy
it.
that.
You ever hear that saying, like, you can go broke trying to save?
Yes. So there's a lot of furniture and decor that I would love to hoard. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want my garage to be filled with like pieces, because then it gets overwhelming for me. Like Louis and I purge our home every single time.
Wow.
I'm like, if I have a piece that's no longer serving me, that I can't find we're donating it. We're getting rid of it. We're doing something. Because I don't like a lot of, again, I like to feel good in my space.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with having a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
And a lot of things in my home.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
I want to go back to the last part, what she spoke about, what she wants me to reverse, which is the rent. You were talking about you rent one of your property, you rent them below market. Can you talk about that aspect?
Yeah. So Louis and I bought our house, the rental property, in 2020, with making sure that the numbers work for us. Yeah. So making sure that we can still afford the house even if no one pays rent, right? Which is I feel like that's extremely important. Like if you're buying property, you should be able to afford it and not rely on your tenants.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you never know. What if you get a tenant there that doesn't pay rent for months?
Or what if they all move at the same time?
And what if they don't move?
Yeah.
You're going to run into tenants like that,
yeah.
right? Of course, our screening
process. People, listen.
Our screening process is insane.
Yeah.
Like we're calling jobs to make sure you work there. We are not Reesa Teesa. You're not going to fool us.
She said,
I know you guys are talking about.
She said, she said.
Dropped that.
So we have a very, very strict, process. And my mom, so growing up, we didn't have a house. We would go from apartment to apartment. And I don't know if it's like a sweet, this is probably why I'm not a good landlord, honestly. I just have a sweet spot, for people that rent spaces and treat them like
they're theirs. Yeah, and respect.
They're theirs with respect. I'm not going to take advantage of someone who's living on my property and taking good care of it because I'm money hungry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that so when we bought the house, we remodeled the third floor. That's where we started. And I shared it on Instagram. And a lot of people were saying like, damn, all this for an apartment?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I refinished the cabinets. Like these things weren't super, super expensive, but I made sure like the countertops were nice. Like it looked really nice. It still looks lovely. And a lot of people were like, all this, you're going to rent it out and they're going to destroy it. If I go into a mindset where I'm just designing anything that I own, thinking that people are going to destroy it, what am I doing then?
Yeah.
You know? I should be able to enjoy it. I should design it so that
But at the end of the day, no one should really be knocking you for your choice to charge to do what you do, but also to charge what you charge, because you've already told us you planned it out. You're obviously good with your numbers because you went debt free.
Yes.
So if you're charging under market rent, then it's working for you and it works for your numbers. You're not giving free housing.
Right.
Your bills are still getting paid.
Exactly.
And so you're good.
Yeah.
And she's helping with the housing issue too by not charging astronomically high.
Right. Because a lot of people were saying like
much power.
The way that apartment looks should be way more than what we charge, right? But I'm like, okay, but then you also have to think about the area and also the numbers, right? For me, we invested, but it made sense for us. I don't know. I just feel like again, everyone deserves a beautiful space regardless. And I'm like, yo, if my apartments are going to look really nice, that's on me. They're going to look really
Well, they're
nice.
yours too, and you
And
never
then
know.
people take good care of them too.
And you never know where life takes you, right? Like
Exactly.
imagine like I think it's a beautiful thing that you have your rental property, you have your single family home. You guys as a family have obviously worked hard for everything that you have. But if you ever had to step backwards and move into one of your spaces, you could do so and still
Exactly.
be comfortable.
Yeah. Which we honestly thought about that for like a quick second when the prices were like crazy high during COVID. I'm like, yo, what if we moved into one of those apartments? I'm like, I can't go back.
Yeah, but it's an
'Cause like
option.
I said,
It is an option.
I grew up in apartments.
Yeah.
So I have a sweet spot for people that rent.
So you're on this whole journey. You're working on your business. You're doing all that, and then you decided I'm gonna also work out.
I'm gonna
too.
work out.
I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna throw
join
that
the
in.
challenge.
And you're also gonna join. Shout out because your trainer
But you
is a
know-
beast.
Oh, Nadia.
Nadia's a beast.
Let me tell you something about Nadia. She is something
monster.
else. The thing,
So
I
positive,
I
so
joined
positive,
this
too.
journey not in a sense to lose weight as much, but more about like my mental health. So
Yes.
entrepreneurship, like I feel like when you become an entrepreneur, that is on a whole nother level. Like
Yeah.
you have to
Can you
be,
say that one more time, please?
Yeah.
Real talk.
you have to be mentally healthy for the most
Yes.
part, whatever that
Yes.
means to you,
Yes.
right? So for me, I want to make sure that I am in the mental space where I'm strong enough that I feel good about myself. I feel good and energy wise because the stuff I was eating, I wasn't feeling great.
Yeah.
I worked third shift for over 10 years. So now this whole shift of like waking up in the morning and like just going about my day, that kind of like screwed me up a little bit. I was like super tired in the morning, couldn't get up. So I'm like, all right, what do I have to do? And I joined Nadia's 75 strong. So for 75 days, it's like no dairy.
I follow her. She be laying on the
No
floor.
dairy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Working out every day for at least 30 minutes of some sort of activity. No sugar, like all of these things, right? And I thought I'm a huge foodie. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to do this. There's no way. But I like a challenge.
Yeah.
So when we paid our debt off, that was a challenge for me. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to do this.
Right.
So this is a whole nother thing. Like, I'm going to do this. But I'm doing this more to, like, feel better.
Yeah.
Like, have more energy. Because I was feeling, like, blah.
Yeah.
You know?
So now you're feeling good.
I'm feeling
You're
so
doing
much better.
17 things.
The first
and
week,
working out.
17 things and working out.
Yeah.
But that's challenging me to, like, wake up earlier, work out, and that sets the tone for the rest of my day.
I like how she explained that because
know?
what individuals that work out, I know Angela works out. I work out heavy myself, and I try to structure my day just like that. Wake up early in the morning, go to the gym, everything else follows suits right after that. So I think that's really, really important as an entrepreneur.
That's a luxury, let me tell you, because not
Interesting.
everybody can wake up and go to the gym and then see where their day goes. Because there's some days where I'm like, I make up my own schedule now.
Yeah.
Like people don't have that.
Yeah.
Like there's women in the group, in the community where that I'm a part of with Nadia that have little kids. They work and they're doing all of these things and they're still managing. And I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? But that community of these women, it's so it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's not about perfection, like Nadia says. It's about progress. So we share when we have our days where we're like, yo, I can go and eat a burger right now. Like, and let's say I did. People share that and they're like, that's fine. We're all going to have our days. Just keep going. You know what I mean? And we have, every 20 days you can have like one meal. And I remember the 20th day, I was like, oh, bet I'm going to have my meal. And I had half of a burger and I felt like dog shit.
Wow. Yeah. It gets like that sometimes.
And it reminded me, I'm like, this is how I felt. Like, I'm getting older. I can't eat the foods that I was eating when I was younger.
Damn it.
Can't get away with that
This is
anymore.
true.
You know, the bloat. Like, within the first week, I lost 8 pounds.
Wow.
It's getting to the point now where I'm like, all right, Nadia, like, I feel like I'm losing too much. Like, what do I? I feel like my sugar's a little low.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? But she's helpful, not in terms of like like not only about like your physical well-being, but your mental, your spiritual. Like that woman's on a whole nother level. I said, God put her in my life for a reason, and I've been following her for a while. But then my other friend was like, "You should do this. Like, get in there." And I'm like, I think I'm being set to do this so that when whatever happens in my new career, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nadia.
Shout out to
Major
Nadia.
shout out.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things that we like to do with a lot of our guests that we bring onto the platform, we like to play a game with our guests.
I got it.
Oh, you got that, perfect.
And you need the phone and everything.
No, just because I don't remember things.
She gets the game going.
Okay.
And basically, what the game is, we give you 5 names.
Names or things. We're gonna do names or things.
Okay.
And you have to use one word to define that name
Just
or
one word.
thing.
Okay.
All right.
And it's only gonna be 5.
You ready?
Oh my God.
I
Yeah,
did a
I
little
guess.
piece.
Why do everybody get like so like tensed up over this?
Because I think
this is fun, but I'm like, what?
I know,
names
but
you gonna throw at me?
I do that on purpose. I'm like, you ready?
You ready?
And it's really not even that deep. It's 5 words.
Because she got tensed up real quick.
I know. It's 5 words. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna start the first one.
Yes.
Joanna Gaines.
Ooh. Oh my God. Hold on.
Just one word.
I don't know why the first word that comes to my mind, and trend.
Okay.
Trend.
Lowe's.
Damn, I'm not good at this game. Hold on. Lowe's. Resource.
Okay. Sherwin Williams.
I'm just gonna go with paint. There's a lot of paint companies. That's just one of them.
Karen Joy.
Who the hell's that?
Oh. Damn, I was like, she gonna know this person. Who? Karen Joy. She's the one that does all like she does like she has like all the stools that are like strawberries and lemons. Have you seen her? Oh, I'm gonna have to put you on.
She's that one?
Yeah.
She said she's that one. Oh my God.
She has like the cherries painted everywhere.
Tacky.
Okay.
Ooh,
I like it.
Okay,
She's like,
tacky.
give me more.
Tacky,
Okay. Last word, Ryobi.
Oh. DIY, is that one word?
Yeah.
Why
not?
DIY.
Yeah.
You know what? Budget
right.
friendly.
There's a dash. Yeah, there's a dash. Budget friendly. Oh, that was a good one.
Doable.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, I asked that because there's a lot of controversy in in that
Karen
space.
Joy is the one. See, I don't even look at that type of stuff.
She had she just does all like that crazy wacky stuff, like decor things.
Yeah,
like everything's painted like every color. Like her house, she's on a mission to make her house exactly what she wants.
The thing about that,
she started with the cereal bowls. That's what it was. She started with like the resin food bowls. She would make like a bowl of noodles or cereal, and it was resin, and she was just hanging them all over the place. That's what she got like.
So kudos to people like that, right? That's completely opposite of my likes.
Yeah.
If I ever have a client that wants that type of, I'm not the person for them.
Call Karen Joy.
Call Karen Joy. Because if you want, like, if you look at, like, look, I'm very beige, black, very neutral, right? But I can go for color, but not like that.
Yeah.
For Karen Joy, I should have just said opposite of.
that would be
I would have said opposite. But to me, and the Joanna Gaines thing, the reason why I said trend is because farmhouse, super trendy. But she's a very talented woman. I feel bad I said trend. But that's
Which one's Joanna Gaines?
Joanna and Chip Gaines.
Oh, I love Texas. I love but you know what, the thing is couple.
I don't like when a lot of people turn their regular schmegler homes into a farmhouse.
Oh,
You're not on a
everything.
farm.
Shiplap everything.
You're not on a
Shiplap.
farm.
Yeah, they
Shiplap.
were known for the shiplap.
Yeah.
They were known for that.
That was
I love
that's such a
them,
huge
and I
trend.
love the other couple from Ohio. The husband's from California. The wife's blonde. They have two or three
Studio
daughters.
McGee.
Studio McGee.
Studio
That's
McGee.
up my alley.
Yeah, I love their houses, the work they be doing.
Yeah.
How does Joanna define?
Munoz or Gaines? Which one?
Oh shit. Oh,
Yep.
why you?
Joanna Munoz is her Joanna Gaines. She's
That's
in
true.
good
That's
company.
that's true. I just caught on to that. That's true.
Ooh.
That good one. I just caught on to
imagine.
that. How does Joanna Munoz
Oh.
define success in her own words?
Financial freedom
Mm.
and small luxuries. Getting up and saying like, this weekend I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna travel.
Mm.
Just kind of doing whatever brings me joy
Mm.
whenever I want.
That's
I
what's
like
up.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Simple.
So simple.
Yeah.
Like Lewis and I just want to, travel the world
And not be too complicated.
and not be too complicated.
That's
just
so
an
up
easy
my
life.
alley.
Yeah.
Easy life.
Speaking of which, before we wrap up, how did you like the cold? We talked about this. You were going to New Hampshire with your family.
Yes.
And you were not looking forward
Not
to
at all.
hanging out in the cold. And I was telling you, girl, just put
The
the
gear.
warm clothes
You guys
on,
went
right?
skiing and everything, huh?
We didn't go skiing.
They
We went
did
tubing.
Tubing, that's what it was.
And I feel like that's not what I thought tubing was going to be like
Mhm.
because we had to get on a ski lift
Oh, you did? That's fun.
and that was pretty high.
Yeah.
Luckily, the tubing had brakes. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
I tell you, I was like this the whole time. On my
I did see your little, I did
I
see your
came
son
down.
she
and
came down
Lewis.
I love making fun of myself. Like on social media, I love sharing exactly how our family dynamic
Yeah.
is. Like Lewis saying like his ad libs in the back, like she's so slow.
Yeah.
And here I am. Like,
I did see that. You were like, you came
Turning
around the
the
corner,
corner.
like, it was slow motion.
What
yeah.
did he say when you guys walked into into the Airbnb? I think you guys.
Ooh.
He said something about I feel like I'm in $1 million home or something like that. I
Oh,
forgot
Aiden said he's rich, right?
yeah.
something
yeah.
like that. I was
I
like,
feel
oh my.
rich.
He said
Yeah.
he feels rich. Aiden said he feels
He
rich.
feels rich.
But you know what I noticed? It's because it was clean.
Yes.
It was bright.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't crazy luxurious. It wasn't like that, but it
look
was.
he walked into a space and he said, "I feel."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels.
Yeah,
Feels.
emotional
It made him
connection, yeah.
feel like he was rich.
Yeah.
I want people to walk into my spaces and say
Feel
that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was so simple. So that place was like an Airbnb hotel.
Interesting.
It's a mix. It was an old house right up my alley, an old historic home. The bedrooms were suites. They each had a bedroom. I mean, a bathroom, and the common spaces. And
Yeah.
it was so cool.
But it wasn't too cold? You had your gear
It
on?
was a little cold, but
You had your gear on.
the gear
The
definitely
gear
helped.
helped. The gear helped because back
The
in the
gear
day,
helped.
you would have been on. You would have had like just doubled up on your pants.
Yes,
and,
it's
and
true.
Timbs,
It's
but now you
true.
had proper gear,
I
so
had
you
proper
could
gear.
stay warm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so dope. And we went on a hike.
Would you do it
Lewis
again?
loves hiking. First
That's
time we
what's
went
up.
hiking.
Would you do it again?
I would do it again. I
Nice.
would do it again. But I wouldn't ski or snowboard. I snowboarded once and I'll never do that again.
That's
I'm not
fine.
an adrenaline junkie. Like keep me on a chair with my
Yeah.
feet on the ground. Like and that's
She
it.
likes to play safe.
Like I'm not I don't like feeling like you know the
Yeah.
thing.
Oh my God.
I'm all set with that. But they love that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
Nah,
yeah,
that's-
we had a good time.
That's what's
Good.
up.
Yeah,
That's
good.
what's
I'm
up.
glad to hear.
Nah, definitely.
She was like anti-cold, and I was like,
I
it's gonna be
was.
fine. You're gonna be fine. Look at her.
Listen.
She'll do it again.
When we went to New Hampshire for our office team,
Yeah.
I thought I hate
You guys
the
went
cold.
skiing?
We
Yeah.
went skiing. I hate the cold. And when they told us the type of clothing and
Yeah,
ski
yeah.
outfits to buy, I was hot. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
you
you start
do.
sweating.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
sweating.
hot,
I'm like,
I
all
know.
right, this is not bad. So yeah, and I definitely understand where you come from. Some of that you'll definitely do once again because I definitely want to learn how to ski because I was busting my ass like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah, he
I,
was.
I sucked. I
Yeah.
He was
sucked.
not good.
Lewis is a very adventurous person. I'm not
I ran
as much.
skydive,
but, like, the hiking and all that, that's
Yeah,
him.
I love
and
hiking.
we do it with
Yeah.
him, you know.
That's
And
what's
I
up, that's
like it.
what's
He
up.
just loves nature, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's cool. I'll do it one time, but
Yeah, same.
But he's like, I want to see the animals up close, and I'm like,
That's
that's
my
dangerous.
son Noah all day.
Yeah.
Joanna, we definitely want to say actually before we even end this, anybody that wants to reach out to you, get to know you, understand you, how can they reach out?
So I am on a lot of social media platforms as Painting by the Penny. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. If you're interested in having me design a space for you, email me, please. Don't slide into my DMs because sometimes there's a lot of DMs there,
Gets
so things
pushed
get
down.
lost.
Yeah.
Email me at paintingbythepenny@gmail.com.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So all my info's on Instagram for the most part.
Nice.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
Well,
much.
thank
Now,
you so much.
Thank you for having me.
thank you.
I
Thank
loved
you.
it.
I was so tuned in, like focused, like trying to understand everything, and I truly appreciate your insight, and the work that you do.
Yeah,
You know,
thank you.
very talented. The stuff and the things that you post on social media, very amazing, very forward thinking. You know, and from my angle, from my end, watching you, I knew you were the person that would definitely would love to talk to
Oh,
on our
thank you.
platform, and definitely we're happy to have you onto the
Yeah.
platform, and I definitely wish you a lot of
Thank
success.
you,
It's gonna be
guys.
so much success.
Yeah, so much success. And for all those out there, you guys know who we are. My name's Mr. Sadiq Davies. You know, your host of the Netwrk platform podcast. So if you guys ever want to reach out to us, you know, our Instagram, please continue the engagement. The engagement's been amazing. The following has been great so far, even though it's a new platform for it, but man, I'm so thankful for you guys following and engaging and voting and doing everything that you guys do just to show a lot of support and a lot of love. So continue the support, continue the love at the Netwrk, TheNetwrk.co. Once again, meaning community. Angela.
And it's me, Angela. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being gracious. Oh, I did want to say that because Sadiq, when he asked me to join, and I came on, I've gotten like a lot of feedback, and I appreciate everyone's just willingness to accept me. Continue to support the people that we have on. We get a lot of like local people. Let's put Rhode Island on the map. Let's not be that
Let's put
small
New
state.
England on the map.
Yeah, let's not be this like small area where people tend to say like we hate on each other. I think we have a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge to be shared.
Facts.
Just on a local level. So yeah, continue to support our page, engage with us, ask us questions. If there's somebody that you want us to interview, let us know that too.
Please, definitely. Until next time, catch you guys on the flip side.
Peace.